Well, we'll note that this water up here is very warm. This is heating up to a point where it's time to change the water, or actually add a little more cooling water to the system, just to cool it down to make our condensation work. So what I'm going to do, this is the outflow hose. So I'm going to pull the outflow hose out and stick it into this container. And while that's happening, I'm adding water into this container. So this is going to put cooler water back in here, and that's going to dump out the hot water from the top. One thing I do to test to see if I need to add water to the system, this will always be hot because steam's coming in. This is generally colder. So as I'm distilling, if I'm curious as to whether I need to add water, there's a very simple method. And I put my hand on the condenser. If I can leave my hand there without having it burn, then it doesn't need any cooling water to be added. If this is too hot to leave my hand there, it's time to add cooling water. So now we're doing great. Put this back in the container. Come on. Doesn't always cooperate. And there you have it. That's that system there. So now this is cooler. This is still pretty good. That's too hot to handle up here. Again, we have to consider safety. So if you have children around, please make sure that they keep their distance and don't touch the equipment. It's dangerous. It's very hot. It's just not safe. Safety is a big factor. And there we have it. That's our system. So here we can see the oil. It wants to float on top of the water, and the water goes down. And as soon as the water level increases, here we go, you see water coming out here. That's your hydrosol. So your essential oil is staying inside the Essentia, and your hydrosol is dripping into this container. Very simple. If you look really close, you can see the droplets of oil inside there, inside the Essentia. See them dropping into the water. So none of the oil is going to come out until the water level reaches up here. So what I can do if I want to raise that water level a little bit, I actually want to be careful at this point. We'll do it. We'll catch up with that in a little while. So I can raise this by pinching off these two holes. Or I can raise this level and hopefully get the oil. There goes some oil. That's the first drop of oil coming out. Get a look at it. Here we go, one drop. And this is plenty of oil. So if I close this down, and then if I close this down, there we go. See, we've got some oil. That's all pure essential oil now. Let me pick that up so you can get a good look at it. Now, I made a little mistake. We got a bit of mother. If you look in there, you'll see a black spot. Now, mother is, this is raw plant material. It's harvested in the wild, so it's got dust and bees' wings and all kinds of things that you find out, in the environment. And so when you're distilling it, some of that stuff comes over. So if you get a good look down here, you'll actually see some of those darker spots. So that is called mother. And you can separate that at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about it. So we'll continue to cook this, I would say in this type of apparatus, in this size, I'd say 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I could even go to 5 hours if I want. Our only limit is the fuel cost. At some point, here's the water level here, you can see, so the plant material has some water in it. Well, that's okay, because that's going to evaporate. And then there's going to come a point, maybe I could show you this now. So we have to remember to wear our safety glasses. We're trying to be very conscious of safety. And I'm going to wear my gloves because I'm going to be dealing with something very hot. So what I'm going to do is open this valve. I'm going to stick a funnel in there and then add water. I can add water just so you can see it happen. So let me do that. I'll get some water going. This is just illustrating to you what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is I'm going to pull this off, open this up, steam's going to come out. I'm wearing safety glasses, I have my gloves on, I'm not worried about hurting my hands or my eyes. So I'm going to be very careful though. You don't want anybody too close to you when you're doing this. See the steam's coming out now? There's the steam. Funnel on top. Just add water. You see how the water level raised in there as it goes down. So this is something you have to do after you've been distilling for a couple of hours and you see your water level going down. I'll just plug that back in there. Steam wants to go to the path of least resistance, so it'll continue to go out that way. You never want to have, there's a mark right here, and you never want to have your water level below that mark. So anytime you see this thing dropping, then it's just time to add water. And you can see how much oil we have in there. Smells great in here. The sage is one of my favorite plants to distill. You know, it creates such a pleasant ambiance. Just makes you feel good. All right, so you guys come back in about 4 hours, and then we'll go through the finishing up of our distillation.